So, I feel like I've been lied to virtually my whole life. When I was growing up, I grew up in a smaller town in southern Missouri. My dad was a pastor, my mom was a teacher, and so they were able to shelter me quite a bit. And we came up here my eighth grade, up to the St. Louis area, my eighth grade year, and my parents weren't able to shelter me, and I was getting older, so it's easier to learn stuff. And I just feel, just when we came up here, just the lies that were just crammed down my throat were just rampant. Like in high school, they said we had to get off fossil fuels, and it really wasn't about the environment that much. It was a little bit, but it was more about we're going to run out. Like you're going to be sitting at home at the age of 50 and the lights are just going to go out because we don't have any more and we're unprepared. Like that was what I heard constantly. And because fear is more motivating than, oh well, it's the world's getting hotter, so your kids, they're in a world of hurt. Like sitting at home in the dark is way more terrifying than your kids, because that's harder to think about, especially in high school. But if you're in high school, like, oh no, like it's much easier. But now there's more fossil fuels than ever. We know about more. So that was a lie to get me afraid. So I would be a part of this. We need to get off fossil fuels because we have to trust science. But science changes, and then, oh, now believe this. Oh, now believe this. Because in my lifetime, I'm not even 40 yet, eggs have been good and bad for me several times. I was a lifeguard for 7 different summers, and I'm pretty sure the CPR changed 3 or 4 times. And it's not like I started in 1902. This was 2002, and it changed 3 or 4 times over 7 summers. Like we didn't we didn't have it down yet. Not even like that many times. If it changed once, okay, but it changed like every other year. They're telling us to do something different, and it's like, shouldn't this be a high priority? It's life saving and medical. I thought that was something we cared about, but and like the science about the earth is warming, but then I just saw an article that half of the earth is cooling at accelerated rates, and so it's hard for me to take science seriously because then science comes up with something different, and then you shouldn't believe that. Well, and also the carbon dating. I can't wrap my head around that because when they say something's 500 million years old, like I can't fathom that. Like my brain, like when people talk about trillions of dollars, we can't wrap our head around that big of numbers. We just can't. So when someone's talking about something's carbon dated, like how do you know how accurate that is? Because if it's off just a little bit when you carbon dated something 200 years old, it's going to be off by so much if you're going out to 500 million. So I have a hard time because of logic. I have a hard time wrapping my head around that. And so the science about the earth warming and then the cooling and everything else, well, during COVID, there were some satellite images showing Hong Kong and almost no pollution just after a couple of months after this world shut down. This world is pretty impressive. God had a plan. And for us to think that we are all powerful and can disrupt his plans is laughable to me. Like, God promised that he would never flood the earth again. That's what it says in the Bible. So I'm going to take it at face value that there's nothing that we can do to heat up this planet so much where the whole earth is going to be flooded, and that's what you hear. The ice caps are melting and we're going to be underwater. Like you hear that a lot. Well, speaking of COVID and those lies, um, so all the conspiracy theorists that like said that COVID wasn't as bad as it was, which it wasn't. It's basically the flu, and that's kind of where we're at now. that, okay, yeah, you're going to get sick and we're going to deal with it and move on. But all these conspiracy theorists, I put in quotes, because no one talks about them anymore. Like, you made fun of them when they were saying this, but now that what they were saying, at least some, because some are just, they were crazy. Like, what? But a lot of them were correct. So why isn't anyone talking about it now? Because some people, that it's like, you are crazy, but having a healthy questioning of things, but that should be the norm. But it's so frowned upon now that you should just do what anyone says, and if somebody says something, it's just the gospel truth. Like, the lying in ads is just crazy. Like, DuckDuckGo has one. No one knows what you're looking up. No, whatever. And then the WhatsApp app, now they're saying no one can see your messages. Like, was that so this is after you were hacked big time, and now you got it under control. Why don't I believe that? Like, no one's watching. Whatever, everyone's watching. As I'm making this video, my phone is next to me, listening to me do this. So I went and played pickleball, and I had to do a waiver thing, and so my email was on it. And on there, we don't share your information, that it's ours, we don't share it with anyone. But then a couple of days later, I got an email from a hospital saying 5 ways to prevent pickleball injuries. How did they get my email and know I was playing pickleball a couple of days before? I wonder. But no one shares information. And then the labels, they're allowed to lie up to 20%. What? So the FDA, supposed to be protecting us, allows them to lie up to 20%. And I know that was probably built in so they can't be sued if they are off. But most companies, I'm assuming, take that as a license to where, okay, well, we want to make it sound like this is healthier, so go down. Oh, well, we want to say this is higher in protein. Oh, go up 20%. Like, it's all lies and ads. They're, like, I'll play some stupid little games on my phone, and there are these ads that have it where you can make hundreds of dollars in like 10 minutes, and I was like, what? So I downloaded it, and you can make hundreds of dollars in about 10 years, but for some reason they had it on there that you can make all this money so quickly. How are they allowed to do that? Those are blatant lies, that you can make hundreds of dollars in a matter of minutes. And then all this lying about technology. This is just going to be lies. Like, everything's a lie. Like, technology is so great up to a certain point, but then generally it goes too far. So traffic lights, they annoy me so much, because I remember when they had the sensor, the weight sensor in the concrete. Those were, I know motorcycles didn't like them that much because they weren't, sometimes they wouldn't register them. But they were so much more accurate than the lasers we have now, because it's not a sensor. It's simply somebody programming it, and if somebody is dumb, then they program it incorrectly. There's a light right next to my home that even if no one's there, you're going to wait for someone to go left, no matter what, because that's how they have it programmed. And then all of a sudden, it won't be like that. And then it'll go back to that. And it's because people are, and it's always after the electricity goes out and it resets to the norm, and then people have to program it. So it's not really sensing anything. Somebody's programming it. So why do you have the lasers up there? And then I had a job where they switched it over. You'd have your end of the year job performance and stuff like that, and have to sign your contract. And it used to just be a piece of paper. I'd sign it and give it back. But then all of a sudden, we're going to make it way easier for you. We're going to have it online, but we're going to have it in like 4 different places, 4 different passwords. Good luck remembering it, and you're going to have to change them all the time. So I don't know who this was easier for. It definitely wasn't for me. It might have been easier for someone down the line to where they can just click, press a button, and it's all taken care of. Ooh, my job's easy. But it was not easier for me. Or they could get rid of a job and somebody comes and bloop, and it's so. But it was billed as it's going to be easier for me. But it absolutely was not. At all. And there's like this new thing for the fitness industry lies. Like, and some guys are like, I don't understand why people care about why they're natural or on performance enhancing drugs. He's like, I don't know why. And I know exactly why. Because people are selling you this supplement, this workout, that workout. Be like me. Let me coach you. Pay me money. Pay me money. And if you're not natural and you're doing performance enhancing drugs, then you're leaving out a big step in what that person needs to do to look like you. Because you're selling your lifestyle, your look. Like, that's what you're selling. And the fitness industry has been lying for decades upon decades upon decades about stuff. Because I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, that like just all this stuff, all these supplements, and you don't see them anymore. That's because they were lies. There's a select few that were actually have stuck around. Like creatine, I'm not a fan. It just hurts my stomach. Not a fan. But that's why they care if they're natty or not. That's why. And these guys were just baffled. Why do you even care? It's because this person is selling you a bill of goods that's a lie. But yet, you're just, I don't understand why. And so, this world keeps telling me that they want to end racism. But all the actions are that they don't want to. Because, so I've heard a lot about race baiting. And when I see it, it just looks like somebody's being racist, but we don't want to say that. That's going too far, and those are fighting words. But every time I see someone race baiting, it just, in that moment, they're being racist. It doesn't mean that they're a racist overall. It's just in that moment, they're being racist, so for clicks and likes and whatever, and to get attention. But we call it race baiting. Or when people say unalived, I don't understand. Isn't that someone unaliving someone? Isn't that murder? Killing someone? We want adults to be mature, but then we want to distort reality so we can make it believable, but not. Like, I'm so confused what we want more from the younger generations. Like, we do this double talk. Our actions are one thing, and then our words are another. End racism, and you see that in sports and everything, but yet all these people, their actions are the opposite. They want to fuel it so they can get clicks and likes. Because if you really wanted to end racism, then you would shut down these ridiculous conversations versus making videos about them, tweets or grams or TikToks or whatever. You would just shut it down, but yet you play on it. So that's not ending racism, that's fueling racism. And then another one is based on a true story. Oh, I'm so sick of hearing that. Because they say based on a true story, and it's like, well, I think someone somewhere was named that and did something. Like, that's all they need now. Like, I remember when based on a true story actually meant something, but now They slap it on. I'm surprised they don't put based on a true story on John Wick or The Extractor or Extractions or whatever Chris Hemsworth's in. I'm surprised they don't. Well, I'm sure there's a military guy or an assassin that's done something like this. But I don't understand the based on a true story anymore. And then there was a while ago where there was a helicopter that went down. I saw an article, and then within an hour, there's another article saying there's no foul play. But then a couple hours after that, oh, there's no survivors. Doesn't it take a long time to figure out if there's no foul play, if somebody does it correctly? And like a survivor, you just look, oh, survivor, oh, not survivor. Like, they're either dead or alive, right? So a survivor, that you should know if there were survivors long before if there was foul play. But so that just makes me think that there was foul play. And then I haven't heard anything about it since then. So, and the last thing that I will say that's a lot of lies is all these presidents saying, I've created this many jobs. Who cares? What does it matter if you create jobs? What is the big deal? If no one's being employed and actually working in those jobs, who cares? I can't go to my local Taco Bell in the evening and actually sit in there because they don't have the employees. There are multiple cities in the St. Louis area that have been found to have bags and bags of mail just lying around because they don't have the people to deliver them. Why don't we get people in jobs that are needed and quit creating new ones? There'll probably be more people employed. But for some reason, presidents just started bragging about jobs. I've created this many jobs. Like, who cares? Get the jobs going and people in jobs that are already created. Like these fugazis, whatever it is. Jobs. Like, it's in the ether. Like, who cares? And just the underlying point of this video, don't believe everything wholeheartedly because somebody says something. Think for yourself. Question things. Question what you hear in church. Question what you hear. That doesn't mean it's just, it's wrong. But don't take it as solid gold because somebody that you think, like, oh, a pastor is infallible. No, they're not. Not at all. I lived with one for several years. He messed up a lot, and he'll admit it. He's told me. My father has admitted he's messed up so much, and why would... Like, there were so many pastors. I've talked about revivals and pastors coming. There were multiple that drank and drive. One guy killed someone he was passing on a road he shouldn't have been and killed a fan. Like, they mess up all the time. Don't act like a certain profession is infallible. That they just are above reproach. Like, there was another video of these firemen just saying ridiculous things and being obnoxious and like, they're firemen. Show respect. Like, shouldn't they show respect to their profession? Because it is a profession that does garner respect because they put their life on the line, like police officers, military. They put their life on the line every day and should be saluted for their job. But when they're off their job acting like idiots, they shouldn't be above reproach. So please think for yourself and question everything. Have original thoughts. And when you decide, I like that, I don't like that, that's true, that's not true, and you'll probably have your mind change from time to time. I know I have about certain things. I've talked to my dad, talked to others, and I was like, ooh, I was wrong. And be humble enough to admit when you're wrong and change your mindset and your thinking.